So in the last video I created a 25mm diameter wheel for the mouse. I now need to make a housing or a location where it would go. So if I just take a look at this right plane should be running through the center of my mouse. And I can see it is there. So I'm going to draw a new drawing, sketch, view it from the right. So I just need to make a position where the circle is going to go. So I'm going to start off by drawing a center point circle. I'm not going to allow it to snap to anything, but I'm going to create a center point circle that's going to be 26. You might be thinking, why 26 when I created a wheel that was 25? Well, I just need to give a little bit of a tolerance so that the wheel can actually move around. So because I didn't allow that to snap anywhere, I can now select the center of this circle and move it wherever I feel comfortable. Now, if I'm being honest, I'm looking at that thinking, right, the top or the first part of the mouse needs to be a little bit chunkier. So maybe we'll come back and resolve that at the end. So that's the whole part of designing, really. So if I press green tick, and I need to make a space, so the thickness of the mouse wheel was 5. So if I now go to extrude and select remove, select the sketch that I want to remove, so it's that sketch there. The thickness of my wheel was 5. Anybody spotted the mistake? Good, so I just need to add a tolerance. So let's add a tolerance of 5 or half a millimeter and select the symmetric tool and green tick. Okay, so that's created a little housing for my mouse. Now, as I said, when I drew that circle, I could see that the wheel would probably be a little bit too large. So I'm going to make the front part of this mouse a little bit taller. So if I go back in and edit this sketch, so it was the first sketch I did, or second sketch, because I did a construction line. So if I click on edit, let's view it isometric. I'll view it from the front. Let's make this a little bit taller. Let's take it up to 20. Green tick. Hopefully the rest of my drawing now should resolve as it does. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is start putting all of our parts together in an assembly. So I've got my scroll wheel there. I've got my mouse body. My assembly is something where I bring all of the parts together. So currently there's nothing in my assembly. So if I click insert, I bring in my first part. So my first part is going to be my mouse body. I would tend to bring in the biggest and bulkiest part of your product, which in this case, obviously the mouse body. And because I don't want that to move anywhere, I'm going to right click on it and fix it into position. I'm then going to insert the scroll wheel and put it approximately so it's in position. You see it's a little bit off there, green tick. Now we'll come on to these mate tools later on, but I just want to explain how the axis and the different planes work. So if I view it from the top, there's 3 planes. View it from the top and put it into position. Okay, it's not entirely accurate, but it'll certainly be enough for a visualization of the mouse. And if I view it back in isometric, let's see where we are. You can see it's sitting a little bit proud. Looks a little bit like a money box. Click on right. And let's change the view so that it's translucent. I can actually see through the product. Now you can see the housing is there for this mouse wheel. So let's bring it down into position. And because I can only move it down and up, it doesn't allow me to move it side to side in the right plane. Let's view that isometric and bring it back to shaded. And there you go. So that's a really quick way of doing an assembly. As I said, you can use these tools at the top here, but I find that for most pupils it's probably easier to do it across the 3 planes. So the next plane would be there. Well, I can see that it's centered. So put it back to isometric and you can start to see that I'm building up my assembly of parts.